Hi everybody, my name is Tori and I am part of the social and multimedia team here at Christie's Direct, and today we're going to be talking about all things blades. So we're going to be covering blade maintenance, how to properly change the cutter in your blades, and our master service. So the first thing that we're going to be covering today is blade maintenance. So the first stage of your blade maintenance, and probably the most self-explanatory, is going to be cleaning your blades, and in this I mean that we would recommend for you to be cleaning your blades regularly with a little brush. Sometimes you get these with your clipper, or a toothbrush or a blast of air will do exactly the same job. Really, it's just to get rid of any hair or debris that can get built up between the blades and the cutter, and this ultimately means that your blades are not going to be performing to the best of their ability. So yeah, just take your little brush. Obviously this is a new clipper, but I'm just using it for demonstration purposes, and just run your toothbrush, your brush, or use your blast of air just to get in between all of the little blade sort of cutters, and yeah, just get rid of any debris or build up, just to make sure that your blades and your clipper are working to the best of their ability. Okay, so the next thing that we would say in terms of your blade maintenance would be to be disinfecting your blades. So one of the products that we would recommend to do this would be our Groom Professional Clipwell. So in terms of disinfecting, it is really important to be disinfecting your blades, because with the mix of coolant spray, dander, dirt, any sort of build up, this will sort of create and solidify and create a really sticky sort of residue on your blades, which ultimately means that your blades are not working to their full capacity. What you can do is you can use it in a spray bottle, so you literally just spray it onto your blades. Always make sure to hold your clipper down if you're ever putting any sort of solution or liquid near your blades, just so that it doesn't run into the clipper motor. Another thing that we would recommend is that you can take your blades off, put them in the Clipwell solution for a certain period of time. We would recommend that you wouldn't do this overnight, mind you, just because you don't want to be leaving any sort of product for a long amount of time on your blade. So yeah, disinfecting would be something that we would really recommend for you to do if you don't already, and to be doing this frequently as well, just to stop any of that sort of build up. If the build-up does get bad over time and you're not looking after your blades in terms of disinfecting them, your blades might actually have to be grinded down, which we don't want to happen. So yeah, constant use of the Clipwell or any sort of disinfectant that you wish is a really good way to make sure that your blades are being kept clean, but they're also being kept up to the standard that they should be in order for them to work to their full potential. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is lubricating and oiling your blades. Now this is a really fundamental thing to be doing with your blades on a frequent basis, just to make sure that your blades are being kept and maintained properly. So one of the key things that you're going to be needing for this is clipper oil. So we have a Groom Professional clipper oil that we would recommend to use, but you also do get clipper oils usually in any sort of clipper that you're buying. Just make sure that you check if it is something that you're wanting. So yeah, in terms of lubricating your blades, it's really important, for the simple fact that whenever you're using your clipper on maybe a really dirty coat that has a lot of build up, maybe you're using it over a long period of time or over quite a few different coats, what can happen is the friction in between the blades can cause it to heat up, and therefore with it heating up, it's causing it to expand. So the motor in your clipper is having to work harder than it should do, really. So this can wear down your clipper motor, but it can also wear down your blades a lot faster as well. So lubricating and oiling your blades comes in for the simple fact that you are making sure that the blades are not going to be heating up as quick due to less friction, because they are going to be oiled. The oil also stops sort of any hair or build up getting into the blades, and we would recommend to be doing this on a frequent basis. We would recommend to also be doing it after you clean your blades. So after you use the disinfectant, we would recommend to be oiling them as well. In terms of oiling them, we would literally just say always hold your clipper facing down the ways to make sure that any of the oil doesn't run into the clipper motor, and you literally just put it across the top end of the teeth. So you'd put it on the back rail on the top end, and if you're using any comb guides as well. And another thing would be that you can wipe away any excess using a lint cloth. This makes sure that there's no excess sort of product in the blade whenever you're using it, because we really want it to be as smooth going through the coat as possible. So yeah, lubrication and oiling your blades is a very, very important part and should be done frequently, even during the groom. Okay, so the final stage I'm going to be talking about in terms of your blade maintenance is going to be cooling. Now, if you are using your blades, like I said before, and they are heating up, one thing that we would maybe recommend to try is to take off your blades, set them on a tile and replace with another blade. Another thing to use would be something like a coolant spray. So this is a 4-in-1 spray from Groom Professional. This disinfects, cools, lubricates and cleans as well. So it kind of does all the stages that I said before, but we wouldn't recommend this as kind of like a long-term use. So one of the things that the coolant spray is great for is really what it says on the tin. It's really good for keeping your blades cool, especially if there is going to be a lot of friction there. So you would just apply the spray to the top end of the blade and make sure to keep it away from the cutting edge, and then wipe away any excess before you do start to groom again. It is just a good way to make sure that your motor's not having to work too hard with any friction or heat, and your blades are also being maintained as well. Okay, so the final thing that I would like to highlight is just this little accessory that you can use for your blades. So you can use this as a storage for your blades if you have a lot of blades and you want to make sure that they're kept really safe and clean, or you can use it for the disinfecting and cleaning. So as you can see in the inside, this has loads of little different compartments, and this actually lifts out. So you can set all your different blades in here, maybe if you want to let them cool down, or if you want to use the clip well, and you can place it in to disinfect. So yeah, I just thought this was a really nice thing just to mention if you do have a lot of blades or you want to make use of the clip well. Thank you so much for watching our latest video. I really hope that you got some really good knowledge all about your blade maintenance. Be sure to check out part 2 that's coming out on how to replace the blade cutter and also about our master service.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like that, or you can check Christie's Direct out on Facebook and Instagram.